Well, it looks like our European journey is officially over and it's not even September. I genuinely don't know where to start, and I know that a lot of people are going to blame Derek McInnes for this, but I don't blame Derek McInnes at all.
Penalty to Rangers.
I genuinely don't know where you start with that one. We went to Jablonec with a 1-goal advantage, knowing we didn't even have to win the game, and somehow we've managed to throw the tie away. They scored in the second half, took it to extra time and eventually penalties, but I actually think the shootout makes this look closer than it really was. We were second best for far too much of that game, and I know the immediate reaction when Rangers lose is to look at the manager. Like I said, I'm not blaming Derek McInnes for that tonight. I actually thought a lot of the passes we were trying to make were the right passes. The ideas were there. The problem was that every time the ball became even slightly contested, our players looked weaker. We weren't strong enough to hold people off. We weren't aggressive enough going after loose balls, and we kept surrendering possession far too easily. That's not really a tactical problem. You can set players up properly. You can give them instructions. You can tell them where the space is going to be, but eventually somebody has to actually win a tackle. Somebody has to protect the ball. Somebody has to take responsibility when the game starts getting difficult. And there were far too many Rangers players tonight who just looked like they wanted somebody else to do it for them. The one player I really feel for is Curtis. He missed his penalty, and obviously that's going to be the moment people remember, but I'm not putting this result on him. Curtis was country miles ahead of every other Rangers player on that pitch. He actually looked like he wanted to make something happen. He was direct, he competed, he tried to move us forward, and he showed the kind of attitude that was missing everywhere else. So I hope nobody makes Curtis the scapegoat, because Rangers should never have been relying on one penalty from Findlay Curtis to rescue this tie in the first place. We had 180 minutes, then extra time against Jablonec. No disrespect to them, but this is a tie Rangers should be winning. We're not talking about dropping out of the Champions League against one of Europe's best teams here. We couldn't survive a Conference League qualifier. That is absolutely brutal. That's where my bigger concern is. Our attitude isn't good enough, but I'm starting to wonder if the ability simply isn't good enough either. There's players in this Rangers squad who can obviously play football. You see flashes of it, but when the pressure goes up, when somebody gets physical with them, or when the game becomes a fight, far too many disappear. And Scottish football is going to give us exactly that every single week. If we're not good enough to deal with Jablonec in the Conference League, why should anybody believe we're suddenly going to dominate domestically? Teams in Scotland will have watched that, get tight to Rangers, make it physical, don't give them time, fight for every second ball, and there's a very good chance Rangers will eventually give you possession back. That can't be what this team becomes known for. We've already spoken this season about needing improvement, needing players to settle, needing McInnes to get his ideas across. Fine, but there has to be a point where performances actually change. You can't keep saying it's early in the season while competitions disappear. Europe's gone now, and if this level of performance continues domestically, we could be saying goodbye to the league and the cups before Christmas as well. That's how serious this is becoming. The only saving grace, and I'm really scraping the barrel here, is the fixture list. There's now 6 guaranteed European games we don't have to play. No travelling around Europe, no Thursday night games, followed by difficult domestic fixtures a few days later. McInnes is going to get far more time on the training pitch, and Rangers can put absolutely everything into domestic football, but that also removes an excuse. Because from this point onwards, there's nowhere to hide. We've been knocked out of Europe by Jablonec. We didn't deserve to go through. And despite Curtis missing his penalty, he's probably one of the only Rangers players who can come away from that game with his head held reasonably high. McInnes has a massive job on his hands. The question now isn't whether Rangers can recover in Europe, it's whether this squad is actually good enough to recover anywhere. Let me know what you thought of that performance and whether you think this squad is capable of winning anything this season.